Greetings, Jiu Jitsu nerds. It's Alex Wendling here, your host for the bi-weekly and sometimes a weekly Jiu Jitsu live chat. In this episode, we talked about UFC Fight Pass Invitational 10, Misfits situation, AIGA Champions League, but I wanted to crop out the Misfits talk because that is something that a lot of people are curious about. We also did see Craig Jones in the Philippines on Instagram Live drop some tea. And he was probably not supposed to drop it. So we'll see if people will be talking about it on Reddit. But in this upcoming episode with Matt Scaff, we speculate on what we could be seeing with this Misfits situation. Be sure to leave a comment below on what your preference is. Do you think there should only be one Misfits team, and we should just fill the two other spots with actual teams, or should there be 3 Misfits teams? Right now, there's looking like a lot of teams have locked in or signed a contract. It has not been officially announced, but that's why this Misfits conversation is so potent and important to people, because people want a slice of that $1 million grand prize and to find out which team is the best. So without further ado, here is the clip with Matt Scaff, the best Beast with Brains co-host. Also, guys, if you want to support the channel in a free way, just hit the like button. This channel doesn't make so much money, so any type of support to help get this video out into the algorithm of other jiu-jitsu nerds is super, super appreciated. So thank you guys for being here. Misfits conversations going on. Craig Jones recently posted on the CJI page and his own personal page that he wants you to be fighting in CJI 2, and this is a call out for the Misfits who should be on the Misfits team. When I recently posted to Instagram, people shared their thoughts. There was a lot of Mateusz Jasinski's, there was a lot of Levi Jones Leary's, or the must-see Jiu-Jitsu Misfits. But Matt Scaff, who is a Misfit that absolutely cannot be missed in the CJI 2 scenario?
I mean, those are obviously, I think, the people's favorite. You know, you've got those two are definitely the two big ones. I mean, I would say Mateusz would be the guy for me.
These two faced each other in the quarterfinals of ADCC last year. PJ Bunch victorious 2-0 on points under that rule set here.
You see the speed. Jasinski's on the armbar. Oh my goodness.
Whoa! Look at that from Mateusz Jasinski.
Oh my word.
Wow, in 12 seconds.
How fast the tables can turn here at Polaris Squads.
The guy that's just a stone cold killer. I think you could throw in obviously like a Roberto in there. You know, Roberto's not from a big team. He's kind of like I don't want to say a loner in jiu-jitsu, you know, but he does kind of have Roberto's like one of those guys that's got like an old soul. He's like an old soul. I don't know. I just always see him as like, I just imagine Roberto's right now somewhere like meditating in a forest, you know, he's like meditating with like leaves falling around him, and there's a small waterfall, you know, in the distance, and he's just like meditating. I don't know. He's a guy in my mind, I'm like, he's 45, but I know he's way younger than me. But I'm thinking about the big guys. You know, when I think about the Misfit teams, I mean, I guess you'd maybe throw in like a Josh Saunders. There's not a lot. When I think about the best big guys, I feel like most of them represent the best teams, the biggest teams. And I'm thinking if, you know, we're looking at 5 athletes, you know, if you had a team that was, and the other issue with Levi and Mateusz is they're the same weight class. And so, you know, maybe one of them could decide to do the 185 or the 188, whatever the ADCC weight is. But that's the really tough thing is I think, again, those are the two obvious ones. But I feel like right now, especially with Levi Jones Leary, like everyone's going to want to see him back. So I'm like, man, does Mateusz is he not, you know, if we're just creating one Misfit team, it'd be like, I mean, I guess it'd be something like Josh Saunders. He'd probably throw Levi Jones Leary in there. A 145er small guy. Again, there's just not a lot of options. Maybe like Ash Williams. I just feel like most of the small guys they're either maybe, I mean, Baby Shark, if you're saying that Melky Galval's team doesn't have one, so I guess you'd throw probably Baby Shark in there. I just wonder how, because B team's a really small team, right? But they're going to be represented, obviously. And then you've obviously got some huge teams represented. So I'm just like, how? Like, what do you mean by Misfit?
Exactly.
Like, Melky Galval's team's one of it's one of the most successful teams in the world. But if they decide not to send a team out, does one of their athletes get to go in? You know what I'm saying? Where it's like Josh Saunders' team, I don't think, he competes and trains out of a small gym in Australia. Kind of understand what I'm saying here, where it's like, will we take somebody from a small, like a big team like Melky Galval's, like Baby Shark? I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. So I'll be interested to see who makes those decisions. Like who decides what actually a team that represents that. Because I would want to see more like a Roan or more somebody from like a small gym, not just like a big time team that isn't sending somebody.
Yeah, I think that's the situation that we're kind of getting stuck on is like, what is now the difference between a Misfits team accidentally just becoming a super team? At first, I thought maybe the way that
Yes.
they could be leaning is like doing it by region. So you have like the Americas, and then you have, I don't know, the European Misfits, and you kind of do it like that. But now it looks like it might just be one Misfits team, which really makes
And
things
it's really tough
interesting. But it
too
also helps
because
towards the actual team event aspect of it if you don't have too many Misfits teams.
it's really tough too because a lot of guys can claim misfit or claim a team. So there's a lot of guys that could go, oh, well, I represent Alliance. They'll go to Worlds and represent Alliance, but then at the end of the day, they go, no, 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 I own my own gym. I'm just, Matt Scaff Jiu Jitsu type thing. You know what I'm saying? And so I think some people will go, oh, no, no, I'm a misfit. But it's like AOJ. AOJ is not sending a team. So should Cole Abate or Diego Pato get to, like, if they wanted to do it and they go, no, 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 my academy isn't interested in doing it, but I am. So could I join the misfit team? I just would love to see it try to stay as close as possible to actual teams. I love that the B team, and I know I've been a little critical of even like 10th Planet because I'm like, man, those guys don't all train together. Or Checkmat. Like, I would like to see Tackett's team. Like, who are the guys you train? Well, I'm going to know where the best training room in the world is. And I know that does give an unfair advantage to the B teams and the New Waves and the AOJs that are these kind of one. No, New Wave just has one. They don't have all these affiliates. But a part of me is like, man, if you've got an affiliate on all the continents, you shouldn't be able to just use every single one of those schools to make a team, in my opinion.
And so, if AOJ doesn't send a team, they shouldn't be able to send their guys. Why are people thinking that AOJ isn't sending a team? Is that the narrative going on?
Well, it sounds like from what you've said, and then because some of the other things I've heard, that there's only going to be 5 teams and there's going to be 3 misfits. That's what it sounds like. So there's going to be 8 teams, and it sounds like it's going to be 5 and 3. It sounds like 10th Planet and B Team already have those spots locked up. And then we've heard some others. We've heard Pedigo, we've heard Atos, we've heard the Tackets, we've heard, I've heard a couple others, but there's only going to be, if 10th Planet and B Team are one, there's only going to be 3 spots for actual teams, and then we'll have 3 misfits. So it's like, there's going to be a lot of guys left out. They're going to go, oh, what if they decide not to take Alliance? And now all of a sudden you've got all these, like one of the big Alliance stars wants to do it. Are we going to throw him on a misfit team, or is he just out of luck? That's going to be the big question this all brings up.
So I think we got your answer already, but I just want to hear it again and make sure we're on the same page. If they were debating now on what they should do, if there should be 3 Misfits teams, or should there just be 1 Misfits team and then they fill the rest of the spots with actual teams, what would you rather have? I think you kind of already answered you want as close to actual
It's funny.
teams.
I would like to have no misfits. So to me, this is how I would rank the way I'd want to do this event. No misfit teams. Only you have to train in the same room for at least 3 months a year. It needs to be something where you're regular training partners. You know what I'm saying? Not just, again, hey, we've got this dude from Checkmat. He trains at Checkmat in Europe, and then we've got the Checkmat in Texas, and then we've got the Checkmat over here. Like, I'd like to see, no, these guys do a training camp. These guys are actual teammates. That would be my number one. My second would be, okay, they actually represent. If you went out there and had to represent a team, who would you represent? And so you could be, okay, this guy, I represent Checkmat. Even though I've never trained with these Checkmats over here, maybe we've trained together one time, we still represent the same team. So I would say that'd be my second option.
Because we don't know if we're going to have a core team for Nathan Haddad in there. I don't know if...
my third would be that you would have one misfit team. But what it sounds like they're going to do 3 misfit teams. At the end of the day, then I just let anybody do. let anybody do it that, you know, like put in some application or maybe have a qualifier for the Misfit teams. You're going out there, you're representing Misfit. And I don't want to see like, oh, this Misfit guy, he's from a lot, like wherever. Like, no. You're representing Misfits this time. Your team is not Alliance. Your team is the Misfit team, whatever that team name is.
Want to keep up with all the latest and greatest news that I'm covering? Be sure to follow my socials at Alex Wendling X. I'm on Twitter/X. I'm on Instagram, and then of course my YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe here. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the things that I am covering in the future. Yeah, I definitely think a lot of people are leaning towards a one Misfits team now. I think for a while there, it was looking like it was going to be three Misfits teams, and now in recent talks, it's definitely more up for debate. So before we move on to some other team talks and then wrap this up, we got to show some wholesome Craig moments. This is him with turtles in the Philippines. And I felt like this was very symbolic of a moment when Craig basically unleashed a whole lot of prize money, fair fight contracts, and a whole jiu-jitsu revolution. And the ocean symbolizes all that, all the prosperity in jiu-jitsu. And Craig is just letting all that free. So what do you think about that wholesome moment and Craig basically providing a lot of opportunity for those jiu-jitsu
I think
athletes?
when Craig dies, he's going to get to the pearly gates. And it's going to be one of the hardest decisions this dude's ever had to make. It's going to be like, all right, you went to Ukraine and you were doing seminars and helping people out, but you're also breaking half the people there's legs there. And look, maybe they deserved it, maybe they didn't, but then you're releasing turtles over here. You created this awesome thing for CJI, but you also, like,
He's gonna
Craig
be
is
torn.
one of the most interesting human beings that has ever lived. In 1,000 years, they're going to be like, there was this guy. He only lived to be like 41. But man, in those 41 years, this dude, he did a lot of things. And that's Craig Jones. I mean, Craig is a cool ass dude. That's all I'll say. I mean, he's a cool dude.
Craig is definitely a cool ass dude. I agree with everything other than the fact that he'll live to 41. He's gonna be the Hugh Hefner and he will be living until at least however Hugh Hefner lived to. Because he always jokes around, he's like, I'll be dead by then anyway. I'm like, Craig, stop saying that. I can't hear that. You're making me upset, bro.
Imagine if they started like a betting site, decided like between Gordon and Craig, if you could bet like who's gonna live longer, like who's like one of them see 50 or 60 or 70,
Oh
like
my
that would
gosh.
be. I would like to see the odds of those. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely a crazy, crazy life that Craig lives and then some crazy health issues that Gordon has for sure. If you enjoyed that interview, be sure to check out this one. If you